Hello everyone and welcome to another video here on the Cycling Dane Extra channel, and today we have an exciting guest and it's none other than channel favorite Tom Skujiņš, who has had a great start to the year with Lidl-Trek, having been part of many victories with Mads Pedersen, but notably as well for his own chances, having an absolutely sensational performance in Strade Bianche despite having punctures and even a crash, and ended up on the podium next to Strade Bianche. So without further ado, here is our favorite Latvian pro cyclist, Tom Skujiņš.
Hi Toms, how's it going, and where exactly are you? It's not the most conventional background.
Airport life. Just in Barcelona airport heading to Belgium.
Is this like how much of your life as well is spent in airports as a professional cyclist?
Too much, for sure, is the easy answer. Yeah, I mean, the one thing I look forward to the most is post season is to not remember where my suitcase is and just forget about it. People talk about, oh yeah, we're going to do vacation here or there. I'm like, yeah.
But I mean, we'll talk through a lot of things because you've had a very exciting time in the last few seasons, I must admit. But in terms of the first big thing is obviously Strade Bianche this year. Very strange addition for you. How was it, the race for you? Because it made headlines afterwards, obviously, because you got the podium, but there was quite a bit of bad luck as well.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely quite a wild day. I had 2 flats, a crash, my change, and a second place at the end. That was if all the previous editions of Strade I managed to survive without any punctures or anything, then this year somehow everything came in one go.
Because it was an extended edition this year as well. It wasn't the normal kind of around the same kind of length. So did you favor that more than the previous editions for you?
Yeah, I mean, I like every race that's, I mean, not necessarily harder and harder, but like usually the harder the race, the better for me. So I definitely didn't mind the extra distance.
I mean, I still don't, yeah. When you've had so much bad luck in a race, many people would just be like, oh, it's not my day. But yeah, perseverance came through.
Yeah. I mean, there's sometimes with bad luck, you can still manage to get a result. And sometimes with just one puncture, you are the race just because of where it happens. Luckily, I mean, for me, the first 2 punctures were in easier moments, even though, I mean, I still spent a lot of energy coming back. The crash definitely was not the most ideal moment, but it can always be worse. And I mean, that race in general was the first time I had an opportunity as a leader in the team. So, I mean, I knew that it's not going to happen for a while again. So I was like, yeah, I need to take it as much as I can.
I mean, it seems like something's really, well, clicked for the team as well, because you guys as a whole are doing very well this year. But for you personally as well, because last year at the World Championships, that was a phenomenal result as well, being up there in the lead group towards the final. And again, like top race there as well.
Yeah, for sure. Been a really good start of the year for all of us. Or I mean, not all of us, but the team as a whole. Several victories, several workload victories. Good results all throughout. So, I mean, I think it started already last year a little bit. Just with higher expectations and a bit more serious approach to just testing material, making sure that everything is dialed in. Like, for example, last year, for the first time ever, I went to a wind tunnel, which, I mean, doesn't necessarily reflect the Strade result, but you just see that change in attitude, maybe, in some ways. So, yeah, I mean, this year it's just been that and a bit more with the new guys coming in, some fresh blood, and yeah, some riders that are bringing the results this year as well.
Do you think this attitude, is it a change because you've got Lidl as a title sponsor now, and I imagine they probably brought in a lot of expectations, more funding as well?
I mean, for one, it's just a reason of funding as well, like you say, because, I mean, wind tunnel costs a lot of money. And you don't send riders like me to a wind tunnel if you are trying to save as much as you can. But yeah, now we have more money to spend on, just testing equipment and doing more altitude training camps that we're doing this year. Like last year, before the Giro, we didn't have a training camp. Well, last year, actually, besides the December, January team training camps, I didn't do a single one. But this year, there's definitely going to be, pre-tour camp, pre-Giro camp, there's one, and so on and so forth. So, there's definitely just more funds that can be spent. Also, just more staff around to track people to make sure everyone's doing what they're supposed to be doing.
I mean, is that the new bar now? Because we keep seeing races being faster and faster. Is it that everyone's going to altitude camps now, coming down specifically for the races and then going back up?
No, not everyone. I mean, not everyone needs it. Not everyone likes it. Not everyone benefits from it. But it's definitely a thing that a lot of guys do benefit from. So there is, I mean, even just the training camp doesn't matter if it's altitude or not. There's a bit more specific approach. I mean, with less distractions around that you would have when you're just at home. And so it definitely changes the approach a bit more.
In terms of going back to the wind tunnel, because now I'm really interested. It's not exactly like the time trials where you're getting your biggest results. Okay, we know Latvian, multiple national champion, best jersey. We've been over this. I really love that jersey. But in terms of, was that just to focus on your time trial position, or was it more like when you're getting down to a lead out or something like that?
I mean, obviously I wasn't the only one going to wind tunnel. There was a bunch of us in several days in a row. There was just like riders coming in and out, and we were testing both different feet suits, overshoes, helmets, etc., like different kind of equipment. And I mean, a lot of things are rider specific, but at the same time, you can extrapolate from testing several riders with the same suit and seeing their position to see, okay, maybe this suit's better, faster. Maybe this material, the suit is better, faster. It's not just only about TTs and TT positions, because that all translates later on to, other riders, but also road races and what materials you may be using in a road race speed suit and so on and so forth. So obviously it's not just about TTs, but at the same time, team time trials, I know there are not that many around, but you still want to do well when they are around. Personally, okay, maybe there's not many TTs I go all out for in the year, but at the same time, when you are in a stage race and there's a TT, we still need to perform well just in case, like especially if it's early in the stage race, that's, just in case there's an opportunity to end up somewhere placed on GC or take a jersey for a day or two or whatever. So TTs are still important.
Do you have any specific targets this year? Personally, I know you were saying that you were leading Strade Bianche and you don't know when the next opportunity is, which it's crazy when you think about it. You just finished on the podium with everything against you, and you would be like, well, obviously we should send Toms to something else and try and get another podium.
The races are not the same though, right?
True.
So, I'm still obviously going to be more in a support role, which I'm very happy with. And whenever the chance comes, I'll be happy to use it again. But personally, I don't need to be going for my result personally, like as an individual, in order for me to have goals. It's not just about my results. It's also about team results. Obviously, in this period, the classics is a big team goal, and that's why it's also one of my big goals in the year. And for sure as well, Olympics are a big goal this year. Worlds maybe is a bit too hard, but if I'm still up for it, for sure, Worlds will become a goal after the Olympics as well.
do you like cobbles more than, well, we established gravel, you do very well. You even won a race last year in Finland with Valtteri Bottas, which I still think is hilarious that he has his own gravel race. Yeah, actually, how was that? How was racing in Finland? I don't know if that was your first time in Finland.
No, it was not my first time, but it was the first time.
It's pretty close to Latvia.
So that's why we went. Yeah, I mean, it's just like pretty much a 3-hour drive into our boats to get there. So we made it as a family trip. It was, I mean, we know the organizers, so we went there just more for fun. I didn't ride the bike until the day before the race, so it was not like I was super prepped for that. But there's a lot you can do with just good fitness, and also in a gravel race. But I mean, it's actually a super cool event. Just the whole atmosphere, it's quite laid back. There's a lot of things to do around besides just riding bikes. Nice after party. Finland's just a cool country in general. If people haven't been, it's definitely worth a visit as well. So yeah, it was just a nice trip for the family.
Well, I'm jumping a bit, but Strade Bianche, going back to that, in terms of there, you were going for an all-out gravel bike at the Finland event. But in terms of the start of this year, we've heard all these things with Paris-Roubaix, etc. You take the tire pressure is very important. The bikes have been changed a lot. But like, does anything happen with the bike when you're going into a gravel race?
I mean, it depends on the gravel race. This year, I think the weather a bit more muddy, a bit more sloppy at times. It definitely takes its toll on the bike in general, and that's why I had to do a bike change actually. But I mean, yeah, the gravel in Strade is quite interesting. It's very packed usually, especially if it's dried before. Then, like sometimes, like last year, it was actually I didn't change the pressure at all. I pretty much rode the same pressure as on paved roads because it was so packed, so hard. And I mean, that's why it was the fastest ever Strade. Because yeah, it was not really much loose stones or whatever on it. So it does change year to year, and there's definitely years where you do go lower in pressure and really take note. And that's why, yeah, it's always good to do a recon before you go there.
I mean, you were saying that you like the role of being, well, a helper for, well, I would assume Mads Pedersen, and Milan-San Remo, quite close, fourth. You guys did a lot of work there as well, but in Denmark, like in the Danish media circles, not that I'm part of that, but they have a lot of talk about that he really wants to win a monument because then he can get in the circle, well, in the same space of Walt Sørensen. So, I mean, you guys are going to try and do that this year, I assume. Is it Tour of Flanders or Paris-Roubaix or kind of both?
I mean, I think he wants to win any race he starts. And that's why it's so nice to be riding for him. I mean, obviously, monuments are a bigger deal, but at the same time, like, it doesn't really matter which race we're going on. Where San Remo's, I mean, it's a weird race. I really don't like it. Sure, it has all the history and it's a monument. Well, yeah, I can also skip it every year. I wouldn't mind.
I mean, are you down for the Giro and the Tour, or either or this year?
Normally I'm on the Tour long list either, yeah. But the Tour long list is on, so we're gotta make it.
And I mean, with you, I always have to mention Tour of California because that's my favorite race. Do you miss it as much as I do?
I think I miss it more. Even though I get to go to the States, and yeah, I mean, we did one race in the year in the States. It's still not the same at all.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame. But I mean, Tom's has to catch a flight, so we'll let him go here. So thanks as always for your time, and hopefully see you at some point this year again.
Sounds good. Thanks for the big chat and being flexible.